It is International Women's Day. Crack out your Hanukkahs or whatever women do.
What?
I don't know. I don't celebrate International Women's Day. Do
Crack out
you?
your tampons? I don't know.
Different religions for different people.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I'm definitely an atheist when it comes to this holiday.
Well, the actual origins of International Women's Day are communistic, so I'm not part
Oh,
of the
there we go,
communist
yeah.
religion. So there we are. Well, we'll start off just by mentioning something on lotusis.com, being the interview with Posie Parker, a women enjoyer. I think we can describe her. She's a fan of women.
It's definitely one way of describing Posie, yeah.
Yeah, that sounds a bit lesbian, actually. No, she's a fan of women having rights and existing.
Yeah, this is the fundamental disagreement I have with her. You're a lovely person, but you know.
Yeah, I don't know what she does for International Women's Day. Probably nothing these days, considering that, well, that movement's been taken over. And we're going to talk about it because the big thing that people saw was the vomit chocolate people at Hershey's. For Americans who don't seem to know, your chocolate will taste like vomit. The reason for that is because your chocolate tasted like vomit because they had to transport the milk. And now you've all gotten used to it and you still eat vomit. And I'm
Yeah, it's
disgusted by it.
ridiculous, isn't it?
I
used to live on a military base out in Germany, and there was like a small American base there. So they had the American BXs. And we thought, oh, this would be good. You know, we're like 13. We're going to get some American chocolate. This will be exotic and interesting. It's tasted like absolute. I'm not even gonna...
Eating sick.
It's just the powderiest, grossest thing in the world.
Oh, I don't even want this to be the main subject, but now that I've
No, but
mentioned it,
English chocolate is just so superior to American chocolate.
not even English, Belgian,
Sure, but
French, German, Russian chocolate is better than American chocolate somehow.
Even Russian chocolate.
Yeah, the Alinka stuff is their highest
mad.
quality. Not very good. Still better than vomit.
Right, I believe it.
So anyway, whole other conversation to have in the comments. I'll be down there arguing. But today, well, a little while ago, Hershey's decided they would propagandize everyone, even with the chocolate bars. Look, it says her and she in it.
Oh,
Ooh.
God, it's so progressive.
Yeah, this isn't the only thing they did, of course, which is they decided that, no, we're not just talking about pronouns, we're going to talk about the people with pronouns.
Oh, brilliant.
Put them front and centre. Because if we go to the next one here, we can see Faye. These are all archived. Faye decided to protect his tweets.
Who's Faye, exactly?
Faye was the newest face of Her for She, a campaign by Hershey.
For she.
Yeah, Faye is a man,
Oh, right, okay.
yeah, who says they're a woman and has done the whole thing of putting on a wig and some clothes.
And she is for she.
Yes. So he says here,
Hang on, no, this is great, because the he for she movement didn't really take off. Because men, don't you want to just sacrifice everything for women? Men are like, nah, not really. Transgenders!
do you want to sacrifice everything for women? We want to become the women.
Where's Emma? Yeah, where's Emma Watson when you need her?
Women need to give up everything. I mean, you could read that the other way, which is that the hers, the women are giving everything up for the she, hers.
Well, now that is more accurate.
Anyway, so the chocolates out in wrapper, honoured to be featured in this campaign by Hershey, Canada, for International Women's Day, alongside 4 brilliant sisters and change makers.
God, haven't we had enough change?
The change makers, I'm not going to go through them because most of them are boring. One of them was I was able to find a speaker for the Liberal Party in Canada.
Brilliant.
I imagine all the rest of them are
Yeah, it's
Liberal Party
Trudeau's
supporters.
party, yeah.
Yeah. And, well, man on Girly Chocolate Bar for Girly Chocolate Day of International Women's Day was a bit weird.
I do want to know what the Russians think of this. I just genuinely... It's like, what's wrong with... Like, I don't know.
Unironically, everywhere I went recently when I was there, I'd run into someone, we'd get chatting, and eventually the topic we'd get to, so that transgenderism stuff in the West, and there's a smile on their face.
Yeah.
And they're like, it's not real, right?
Well, I mean, that's definitely one perspective that we'll be exploring later on in this podcast.
Yeah, they all unironically just assume that the Kremlin is lying to them, and actually, it's not happening in the West. This is just Kremlin
Obviously,
propaganda.
government lies. I mean, surely.
Yeah, and I had to sit there and be like, no. I pull out the articles and show them, and the smiles disappear, and then they're like, oh.
This is the one thing on which Putin is telling you the truth.
Yeah,
Actually.
it's a fun game to play if you're over in Russia.
Do we have to allow dictators to be the bearers of a certain kind of truth?
Well, I sure hope not. But we'll move forward because you may have seen that she's posting about the fact that it's all out. You can buy. There's a specific chocolate for each one of the sisters. So this sister over here, Pasta, tell us about the sister. We'll get to the turf cartoonists who did a no-no, which is they drew the subject in a cartoon, which is disgusting. How could they do this?
You know, in the 90s, there's a chocolate bar in the UK called Yorkies.
Not for girls.
Yeah. Literally, the advert was not for girls. That's very based.
Not for Hershey's either. Not for women. For trans women.
I mean, it
For
was
women's
literally
plus.
misogynist chocolate.
We'll go to her face just for to see. I mean, like they butchered
Right.
her looks. And it's disgusting they would do that.
Hello, fellow women. Yeah.
Let's move to Hershey's because they started trending because boycott Hershey's was trending in the United States. It ended up trending, I think, #1 at one point.
It's only 1,600 tweets though.
I know, it blew up way more after this. It's just someone noticing that it happened. And then we go to the website because we can see a bit more of her for she. This is a thing. This is real. It's not just one advert. They decided to get a web dev in to make all this for some reason.
Yep.
All the different chocolate bars there. If we go to Faye, she's got her own part of the website.
Yeah.
2S LGBTQIA+.
Two Spirit LGBTQ IA in sex and
Ally?
no,
Anal?
No, asexual, I think.
I'll go with anal. I always forget that the 2S is a thing until we come back to Canada.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh.
Well, that's because they're preposterous.
Yeah. A bit of a mad person as well, it seems.
Oh, really?
We'll go to that.
Who could have imagined looking at that bio?
Yeah. Got some opinions. The opinions of Faye is, you can read it in your own time, is literally just shut up the opposition.
No, not just the opposition. Shut up TERFs, which means women.
But that's the opposition, which is women existing.
Biofems.
All women deserve prison. Literally at the end there, shut them down. I mean, I couldn't agree more, but it's different strokes for the reasons. Faye has responded to all of this.
Shut them down, oh God.
Yeah,
women are talking.
After it came out that local man's opinion was shut up all the women, I am the women now, look at me. Well, they made a response. The reaction to my inclusion in I don't think anyone.
Yeah.
Whatever. As a trans woman in the Hershey's Canada International Women's Day campaign shows just how far
International Women's Day campaign. Women, maybe they should shut up.
Yes.
Says man in dress. Just okay.
I am the women now. Actually, what happened? Shows how far we still have to go.
That's true, but I love this. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not shutting up. Well, all the women have been shut up, so what does that make you?
All the women need to shut up, but I'm not.
Very interesting.
Yeah, I will always stand up for women and girls, cis and trans, as I tell them to shut up.
Shh, the men are talking. I'm in favour of women's rights.
Yeah, I do love. I mean, it has become
so comical.
I mean, the world of the left can be summed up as I hate sexism and women. Which is totally true. We'll go to Oxfam because they decided to jump in for some goddamn reason. We're like, we stand with Faye. How will this raise more money for charity?
I don't know. What?
I don't know either. Who rather runs
Charity?
Oxfam, who's just mad. So, I mean, this could be Oxfam Canada, one thing. But then International Women's Day starts today.
Surely telling TERFs to shut up is misogyny from the feminist perspective. Like, we stand with Faye Johnston and all trans folks. We stand up against misogyny and transphobia every day. Like, this seems to be an overflowing font of misogyny. And that's coming from me, a misogynist.
Yeah, I was going to ask, are you actually running Oxfam Canada?
Yeah, well, I'm not, but I mean,
Which is
obviously
on the
I
side,
can get a job there.
Women, shut up. Make room for the women plus.
Yeah.
Because
You'd know if I was running it because women would have an asterisk in it.
If you go to the next one here, you have the fact that Oxfam International, of course, jumped in to say on International Women's Day, it's time we amplify the power of all women, especially women of colour, queer and trans women, disabled women, and refugees and migrants.
Refugees and migrants, now a category of woman.
Yeah, I do love how...
There's no women in them, refugees and migrants, but...
But like all of these special terms, the special groups, were always there because baby I was born this way, therefore I don't get a choice. So I love how you've got...
no.
You know, we had the black race. Okay, well, that's a race. Queer race, bit weird. The woman race. The trans race, disabled race, refugee race, and now migrant race.
Yep.
I love the race of refugee.
Yep.
Technical characteristic. Should we check on, because there's just real quick.
Whenever they say community, they really just mean race.
Yeah, but one thing I noticed is that there's a little bot now that'll tell you whether a company pays its men and women the same.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, and on International Women's Day, I'm proud to bring you that Oxfam does not pay its men and women the same. In fact, women get paid 4.6% lower than men, according to this bot. We'll get back to that later because that bot is very funny, but... Moving forward with International Women's Day celebrations, we had another weird take from this account here, some checkmark, legacy checkmark, in case you're wondering, maybe notable. In light of growing violence against lesbians, trans people, and women who don't fit into gender and sexual orientation norms across Europe, on International Women's Day, we reiterate our campaign towards overcoming the structural oppression of all women. One thing I did notice in there is they say, like, women and then trans people.
Well, I mean, they mean trans women to men, right?
I I don't think they do.
Well, they must.
I think,
Oh, well, hang on a second. That would be transphobic.
yeah.
Because that would imply that they're not real men.
But what's funny is that all people who are transgender, regardless of which way they've gone or where they started, are all women now.
So the trans men aren't really men because
They're oppressed women.
they're oppressed women.
And trans women are not men who are dressing up as women. They're oppressed women.
Yeah.
What a wonderful world.
And refugees.
Matt Walsh has done a response to all this,
Oh, yeah.
which, of course, blew up a bit, where he says, Hi, Faye. I will personally donate $20,000 to the charity of your choice if you can provide a coherent definition of the word woman. He's still searching. I mean, I
know
do...
they blocked them.
Yeah, blocked him immediately. Seeing as you identify one, I'm sure this will be no problem. I do kind of love the idea that Matt is not actually hanging up the hat.
Yeah.
He's still out there. He's gone to more African tribes, being like, please, just tell me.
No,
Hungry for knowledge.
We'll cover more of this later because, the guys at the Daily Wire are doing a good job on this.
One of the wonderful things that came out of that whole situation was, of course, that Jeremy's chocolate has now been launched from the Daily Wire.
Oh, yeah.
Ever eager to make a buck, and rightfully so. Which is just like, I'm launching Jeremy's chocolates. We have two kinds, he, him, and she, her. And if you want to know which one has nuts, you should know.
On the plus side, at least we can be assured of the Daily Wire's commitment to capitalism.
Yeah, that is absolutely awesome.
Yeah.
But we'll move forward on that because Hershey, getting back to them, did actually know what a woman was
Oh,
a
did
whole
they?
12 months ago.
Really?
Yeah. Some moons ago.
Hmm.
They were like, hang on, it's International Women's Day. Let's put up some
Mothers,
women.
sisters, daughters, and granddaughters, aunts, nieces, goddaughters, godmothers.
Yeah, that
They're
would-
all forms of woman.
Yeah, certainly were. It's not even the new one. If we go back, even more in time, we can see more of this. This is the old
God, the
adverts.
most popular person in the world.
Yeah, look at this woman holding chocolate, and she wants to eat it because she's a woman, and women like chocolate. Good
I
campaign.
look forward to Hershey's International Men's Day with he.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. Because one of the things is, I don't know if we go to the next one. I don't know if there's another one of these adverts. Oh, there is. So, I mean, the point being that they knew up until 5 minutes ago, in case you were confused. But International Men's Day, you bring it up. Obviously, it's not really a thing in the West.
No.
And we celebrate International Women's Day in media, but we don't have a day
Well,
off.
we celebrate it.
Yeah, well, I wanted to remind people. I mean, like, in the Soviet Union, it was a national holiday. You got a day
Yeah,
off.
yeah.
And so, obviously, people started realizing that was a bit sexist. Aren't we communists?
Good point.
So men were actually given a day. It was Defender of the Fatherland Day or Soviet Army
really?
and Navy Day. And if we get the next one here, just they actually did have that recently. So this is in Moscow. I think in Ukraine and other Eastern European ex-Soviet countries, it's still a holiday.
That's actually more conservative than we are in the West, though.
Yeah, they actually provide. It's a day off work.
Defender of the fatherland.
Yes,
It's a very honourable position.
where it used to be Soviet Army and Navy Day, and then after Soviet
Yeah.
Union went, they called it Defender of the Fatherland Day
That's wholesome.
because they're not retarded. It's like, who's defending the fatherland? Who do you think? I mean, exactly.
Men in dresses?
Friend of mine actually, he got a gift. Like the women in their lives have to give gifts to men, and
Oh, that sounds great.
an International Women's Day, the women get gifts from the men.
Yep.
Which was actually quite nice. But
Here's some terrible Soviet chocolate.
getting back to International Women's Day in the West, because of course it's half a joke. We don't even have a holiday. It's just a day for feminists. Or at least it was.
I mean, it literally is just a feminist day.
It was though, wasn't it?
Well, yeah.
This is what Julie Bindel was whining about a couple of years ago.
Poor old Julie.
My day has been stolen from me. Yes. I mean, you are correct in that assessment.
Yeah, I mean, that's not wrong. Yeah.
I do want to have the conversation how dumb it is. But she does make a good point in here, which is talking about why there should, if you're going to make this argument, be a day for men and women, in which we can talk about that. She says, female genital mutilation, forced marriage, rape and sexual assault, sexual harassment in the workplace, unwanted pregnancies, domestic violence, and everyday casual sexism happens to women and girls because they were born female, not because we identify as such. It's a great point.
Yep, that's fair.
All the unique problems men face and all the unique problems women face can only be shown because they are men and women.
They are tied directly to the biology of being a man or a woman, yeah.
It's funny how whenever you hear people who are transgender argue for the transgender women being women or so forth, you can't actually bring up any of those points.
No, of course
So you've never faced a forced child marriage, have you?
Never faced a forced pregnancy, have you?
No.
No.
Female genital mutilation? Does that happen to you?
Not recently.
No. It's strange. I mean, men can talk about the fact that they had genital mutilation. Every Yankee.
Yeah.
But I'm not letting that up.
Well, 70% of Yankees.
Yeah. But we'll mention
So weird, man.
some other things because I love it. I love how International Women's Day is now. I mean, Hershey's is just the newest thing, but it really is in the toilet. So I mean, you can be glad all the whining of International Women's Day in your career is now dead.
Yeah, but that's
Like,
half
all
my
the-
content.
Well, yeah. But there's this example where very recently there was a flag put up. This is in 2020. It said adult human female. for the definition of woman.
Hostile, transphobic dog whistle.
Don't think it's a dog whistle.
Yeah, no, it's not even a dog whistle.
Dog whistle for the illiterate, maybe.
Yeah.
Like, if I can't read it.
I'm surprised it didn't say it was fascist, actually.
Yeah. There's also Wemixing Day. That was tried back in the day.
Yeah.
If you go forward, there's that, which didn't really go anywhere.
Wemixing.
Some university. We also got Munro Bergdorf. I want to get into a conversation she had a while back that Julie Bindel mentioned in the
Munro
article.
Bergdorf would like you to keep your vaginas out of his feminism.
Brother makes a good point.
Yeah. Fascinating.
Quote, I also want to stress that if you do attend, it is crucial that you do with an intersectional mindset.
I'm just reminded of the Scottish TERFs who just lifted up their skirts and pointed at their vaginas in the parliament.
Yeah.
Just like, no, we're not keeping our vaginas out of your politics. This is literally all we're talking about.
I just find that funny because she's just like, you're in a room of people who've forgotten what arms are.
Yeah.
And have all chopped off their arms. I mean, you would just pull out your arm and be like, are you mad?
There's no such thing as arms. No one's ever had no arm.
She's there like, no, I have one of them. You can. But Monroe finishes off by saying, centering reproductive systems at the heart of this demonstration on International Women's Day is reductive and exclusionary.
Yeah.
Get your vaginas out of here. Don't want to see that.
It's what being a woman is, Mr. Bergdorf.
I just love like all gay men have overtaken International Women's Day. Just like, none of those. Get those out of here. Not a fan of that.
Vaginas.
We'll go to the Aussies as well.
Men in dresses.
Because there was this thing a while back that Julie mentions, which is a bunch of women went on International Women's Day march.
I love that International Women's Day. We're just vagina exclusive. Very much.
Don't want to. Not today, love. So these vagina enjoyers went for a march. And, and they were met by people who were not vagina enjoyers.
Yep.
Who started chanting Nazi scum off our street.
Ah, yes.
Because they had vaginas.
Yes. Average Nazi.
Yeah. Also, I just want to mention Time Magazine can't believe that the cancel culture of the damn right who are not buying Hershey's chocolate bars for, the obvious.
How's that cancel culture?
That's cancel. If you don't buy the product I'm serving, you're cancelling me.
Good point. Sign up to lotus.com or you're cancelling us.
Could you imagine going to the market and someone's like, well, I should be selling meat. I am a butcher, but today I've got a special service on human excrement I'm selling. You can buy that, 2 for a fiver, 2 for a fiver. And then no one buys it.
Cancel culture.
Yeah. Add it again. Quote, the backlash is the most recent attack by conservatives. Okay. Okay.
Literally standing on a rake.
How could you have done this to me, conservatives? He's there eating the chocolate, like, what? So, against the brands who
also,
are too woke.
Hershey's, your chocolate sucks. Just fix it.
Yeah, stop putting vomit in it for one thing. Oh, God. But the conservatives are saying the chocolate's too woke. In this case, it's a raising women, say conservatives. Which is,
yeah, the conservatives are saying that.
Yeah. I just really love that idea. That if I don't buy your human excrement you're selling...
No, it's cat vomit, not human excrement.
Yeah, sorry, the cat vomit. The Hershey's want you to eat. They're like, well, you've cancelled us. Damn rightus.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, we'll take
Deal with it.
We'll get back to that bot.
Right-wing cancel culture has arrived.
This is the best thing of 2023 International Women's Day.
Right.
It is my absolute favourite. It is a Twitter bot, which is meant to, as it describes itself, if a company tweets about International Women's Day, this bot will retweet it and tell you what the pay gap is in the company, which is obviously rather funny.
Yeah.
Because, none of them want to look that way.
No, that's fantastic.
Even though
But what I like about this is clearly a feminist-oriented bot as well. As in, you should be doing this, but you're not.
Unbelievably feminist, in fact.
Oh,
and we can go and check it out. Because if you go to the website, which is associated with the bot, and give it a good old scroll to see who's behind the bot, it's a power couple. It's a feminist power couple. A woman and a man. Now, well, don't read it. Don't read it, Carl.
I'm not going to, but I know what's
Who
going
do
to
you think
happen.
wrote the bot?
The man.
Can't believe you would say such things. Yeah, so the woman here, she's a social media manager.
When I'm not writing code, I like to blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
The man is a software engineer.
Really? Who could have imagined?
Yeah, who could have seen that coming? The man in question, actually, he has a master's in physics.
Oh, yeah. Good for him.
Yeah, they went on to be a software engineer his whole life.
Yep.
So, I mean, this was a piece of piss for him, I imagine.
10 minutes.
For some reason, he gets paid more than his girlfriend. And they've not been able to figure it out between them.
If only the patriarchy wouldn't stop holding her down.
Yeah, if you can click on her LinkedIn, actually, just up there. So, at the bottom of her account, there's a LinkedIn. Because, he had a master's in physics, I checked from his LinkedIn, has done a lifetime of coding, software engineering. There we are, University of Manchester.
Social media manager.
But I don't know if you want to hide your messages, John, before you put that up. But Might have to edit that out. But if you scroll down after you've done that, then we can see her life in question, which is beautiful. She has done a lot of writing. That is about it, mostly. But if we get to her education, we can see, well, why would she not earn as much as a master's in physics software engineer?
What does she do?
She has a degree in English and French literature.
Right, okay.
I don't mean to be especially cruel. I'm not trying to be, whatever.
Well, I mean, J.K. Rowling probably has a degree in English literature.
Yeah, pronouns in the bio.
So she could make a lot of money if
Yeah.
she wrote a book.
Possible. But my point being, how did these two individuals sit down, write a bot about the wage gap, and not think for a minute?
Well, I think that the answer is contained in the premises there. Hello, we have created a feminist bot. We didn't think for a minute.
I know, but you know how we were watching those clips of those people who clearly have never thought about anything?
Yes.
I mean, at what point in well, she didn't write the bot, but at what point in him writing that bot did he might think, I think, love, I might know why I make more money?
No.
Just absolutely no
Yeah, but
point.
then she'd have been like, right, you're sleeping on the sofa.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll end it off just with the funniest thing that bot did, which is you have Scottish widows here who are complaining that women aren't getting paid the same.
I love all of these complaints are basically women are lazy and need to work harder.
Yeah, but the bot is like, well, look at you, Scottish widows. You pay women less as well, 14%. It's such feminist BS. I mean, to get back to the old feminists before the new feminists.
Just shaming women for not working as hard as men.
Yeah, the detailing here is like the pensions gap. Women live longer,
Oh,
therefore that's a problem. Weird conclusion, but so they live longer, therefore their pension doesn't cover as much.
You know who's really being oppressed in society when they've got the longest lifespan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also love the idea that it's the real problem is because they live longer. That money that they've saved doesn't last as long for the men because they die sooner, and that's oppression of women. Men die young, the bastards.
They're so lucky.
Yeah, and then they're complaining about payment, and yeah, funny thing from the bot there. But I do find it funny that just every level feminism is completely dead. I mean, the intersectionals have killed it.
I told you they would.
To give them the credit.
I literally said this in 2015.
Yeah, and I think you can actually sit on the mound of corpses and plant your flag, Carl.
I will.
In 2023 and just be like, it's over. It's all over. Feminism is absolutely dead. And I think this International Women's Day, that's the true celebration. If you appreciated that segment from the podcast of the Lotus Eaters, you can go to lotuseaters.com to get access to all the premium content that's on the site, such as the Epoch series, this episode on William Wilberforce. If you'd like to find out what else is being put out, you can follow on Getter at lotuseaters_com on Getter. Thank you and goodbye.